In 1944, during the Second World War and consecutively the Continuation War, the Finnish army had been fighting the Soviets in a drawn-out invasion, with a large amount of travel being done on skis. Aimo Koivunen was a soldier in the Finnish army who had been assigned to one of these ski patrols. The objective was to investigate claims of Russian movements near a railroad leading from Kantalahti to Alakurti. Being that patrols were long, with the possibility of enemy attack, meant that soldiers had to be constantly alert. To solve this problem, the German army had begun issuing troops with Pervitin, a pill form of the stimulant drug Methamphetamine, which in turn would make its way from the Germans into Finnish supply. The packs of Pervitin would be issued in colored packs of 30 tablets, and the instruction was to take them one at a time during lengthy patrols or during guard duty to maintain alertness. 2 days into their patrol, upon reaching Kaita Field, they had found themselves becoming quickly surrounded and under attack by Soviet troops, which had outnumbered them significantly. The Finnish ski patrol had begun to retreat, with fire being exchanged from both sides. The Soviets were quick on them, with a great pursuit ensuing, and leading to exhaustion from troops after 2 days of non-stop skiing and now a firefight. For unknown reasons, Koivunen was the only troop in the section with the entire supply of Pervitin. Koivunen, who had been so tired he was falling asleep while skiing, and in a desperate attempt, had taken the Pervitin package with his gloved hand and accidentally removed a great number of tablets instead of one. With a quick decision, he had taken practically the entire packet of Pervitin, leading to a heightened sense of delirium, but also a significant boost of alertness and energy, leading Koivunen to hastily lead his fellow troops out of the danger zone and deeper into the wilderness. It had not taken long for Koivunen to outrun the Soviets, and had not taken much longer for the dazed Koivunen to realize that he had also left his squad behind, leaving himself entirely alone in the wilderness. Having lost his memory of the event, Koivunen had blacked out only to find that in his delirium, his troops had taken the magazines from his submachine gun for their safety. Utterly confused with all his supplies missing and a blank spot in his recent memory, Koivunen had set off to make his way back to Finland, only to then come across a camp which he had taken for a German camp. Believing he had been saved, Koivunen raced to the camp, which upon entering, he had discovered to be a Soviet camp. Being that he had no way back now, he flew through the camp, to which the guards made chase. While escaping from the Soviets, he had been caught in a fierce snowstorm, which actually served to his advantage, as he was able to evade Soviet detection. For an entire day, he had skied west, and subsiding off forest pines and boiled water. Koivunen sought rest, which overtook him. When sleeping, he had a nightmare of being attacked by a wolverine, which upon waking, he found his compass was broken during his nocturnal struggle. Depressed and without supplies, Koivunen skied for a whole day, and soon succumbed to fatigue once more. With another blackout of memory, Koivunen found himself only more lost and now without any equipment whatsoever, even having lost his submachine gun and cooking pot. Skiing for another day after the blackout, he had found himself at a cabin, which in his stupor, he had set a campfire inside of and burned down the cabin. With this turn of luck, he entered a sauna on the property and slept. Upon waking and continuing, Koivunen found a ski trail which he had made use of, bringing him to a German outpost. Rejoicing at his find, he entered the camp and called out for reply, only to find the outpost abandoned. Soon upon entering the camp, a large explosion had sent him into a ditch. Upon waking in the cold, Koivunen was injured and had crawled from his dugout to a small sugar shack, which he had taken shelter. Finding that his left foot was grievously mangled, he had used his undershirt as a bandage and made a small fire in the shack. At this point, Koivunen gives in to fate and believes he is going to die. The amount of time that had passed is unknown, but reality mixed with dreams of arriving at a hospital to be treated and presented with food, only to then wake up and relive the hell in which he was trapped with the days passing by. In one instance, weak and out of options, a Siberian Jay had flown into the sugar shack and landed on a ski stick he was using. The bird never flew off the stick, and Koivunen snatched the bird, tore off most of its feathers, and ate it raw. As though a sign, a loud boom had sounded and woken Koivunen from his slumber, only to call out and receive reply, in Finnish no less. A patrol had found the camp, however, as a turn of luck, one of the troops had struck a mine, and they would have to leave. Despite Koivunen's pleas and his condition, the minefield and their own wounded soldier prevented their attempt at rescue, to which they had left Koivunen alone. Some days had passed when another sound had brought hope. An airplane was passing by, to which Koivunen had used his ski stick and had to signal to the aircraft. After some more time had passed, he was once more awoken to the sound of soldiers calling to him. Rejoicing at his rescue, he had waited patiently, as German engineers had to carefully remove the mines so that they would be able to reach the sugar shack. In time, however, he was reached, and a shock had met the soldiers, as Koivunen's condition was near death and his tale of survival seemed unreal. Immediately after, he was carried by horse-drawn sledge to a field hospital in Sala at 2 a.m. His condition was terrible, with a reported heart rate of 200 BPM, with a body mass of 43 kilograms, having been wounded in the camp for a week, with an environmental temperature averaging -20 to -30 degrees Celsius in that region. The camp was 50 kilometers north of Sala. The expedition begun on the 18th of March, with Koivunen reaching the hospital on the 1st of April. The distance traveled from Kaita Field to the German outpost was roughly 400 kilometers. After this wild story, Koivunen had lived a peaceful life, dying naturally at the age of 71 in 1989.